All right, looks good. Welcome, friends. Tonight we are going to do part two of Easy on the Knees. And we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. So, whatever that means for you tonight, that could be seated in a chair, seated on the floor, um, seated in a swing. No, I don't think so. So, pick one of those two. And we will get started. So tonight I want to start with a little check-in, checking in with the body, and just kind of seeing how we're doing out there. It's a beautiful spring evening, and we have some yoga to do here. So for the part one, my apologies for the abrupt ending if you were watching that video or if you've watched it since. Um, I had to fire my IT department. They forgot to plug in the laptop, so it just went. Just kidding. I didn't fire anybody. I am my own IT department. But I did notice at the beginning of the video that I was maybe not being very kind to technology. I know it's not a person, but how we think and how we talk can influence how things come about. So, with that, I've decided to try a new mantra with technology and decide, hey, technology is my friend. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be here doing yoga with you. So, lucky me. Let's get settled and check in with the body. So, if you're comfortable and you would like, you can cross your legs or just have them out straight. And then if you'd like, you can close your eyes or keep them open. See how that feels and decide. And let's take a moment just to check in with the body. Notice where you're holding on to tension. And just keep that thought for later. And when we are doing some breath work, we'll work on letting go of tension. And let's take one more top to bottom or bottom to top. Check in with the body. And then if you've closed your eyes, you can flutter them open. And let's do a little alternate nostril breathing tonight. So I'm just going to move my glasses up here. So we're going to take the right hand, the right thumb, and the right index finger are the two fingers that we're going to close off the nostrils. Index and middle finger we can tuck in towards the palm or rest on the forehead. So typically when we do this breath, I move my finger all the way off. The way it's done traditionally is we just open it a little bit. So there's still one side closed, the other side half open. If you would like to try that tonight, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, I will show you the way that I've been doing it. But if you want to try just removing the finger part way so you're reducing the breath, you can try that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Thumb on the right nostril. Ring finger off the left nostril. We're going to inhale from the left. Pause. Switch fingers. Exhale right. Inhale right nostril. Pause. Switch fingers. Exhale left nostril. Inhale left nostril. Pause, switch fingers, exhale, right nostril. Inhale, right nostril. Pause, switch fingers, exhale, left nostril. Let's do one more round. Inhale, left nostril. Pause, switch fingers, exhale, right. Inhale, right nostril. Pause, switch fingers, exhale, left nostril. Beautiful. Release the hand. Drop both hands down to your lap. And then you might need a Kleenex after that. It's nice for balancing and cleansing out nasal passageways. All right. So let's start by moving a little bit here to get things kind of warmed up, so to speak. So if you're sitting up on something, you are welcome to come flat down on the floor. If you're on your chair, you're welcome to stay in the chair, and you can do any of this with your chair. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is notice that the ankles are connected to the knees to the hips. So when we have issues in the knees, sometimes it is caused by or it affects the next joint in line. So to tease into the knees, we're going to move the ankles first. So let's start. And one of the things that I want you to notice is the bend in the knees. So we want a little softening here. And let's start with, we're going to push the heels away from the torso. So we're giving some length to the back of the leg here, and maybe even up into the back of the thigh. And then let's point and flex, and point and flex. So noticing as you're doing this, how that's affecting the movement, ankles to knees, maybe up into the hips. So we want to sit up nice and tall. And then if you want to add one more ball to this, we're going to add the breath. So this is our exhale. Inhale, we're pointing. Exhale, flex. Inhale, point. Excellent. And then let's do a couple circles around here. One direction, the other. You can do both feet at the same time. You can do one at a time to maybe notice a little bit more what's going on with the leg. Teasing into that knee. Excellent. And then this is a great ankle strengthener. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet in towards each other. And then the tops of the feet towards each other. So bottom of the feet, top of the feet. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there. Something like that. Okay. Excellent. And then let's finish off with our windshield wipers. These, if you can, notice coming all the way. I'm going to do one leg at a time here. So this is my external rotation. And this is my internal rotation. So it's coming up all the way to the hip. When we are standing up and kicking a ball, if we're twisting from the knee, that's where we're going to get damage in there. If we're twisting from the hip, that gives us that whole straight line. All right, so both. See if you can feel that difference. And maybe you don't, and that's okay. We're just trying to get a little awareness in here. All right. So let's release that. And then we're going to come into some more movement here. All right. So last time we did some stuff on our back and we sat up and we missed a couple of things that I wanted to do. So we might do a little bit of repeat just to have that, the warm up feeling that we had last time. So let's actually, you know what, we're gonna start, and we'll come up into our hero pose after our cross-legged pose. Okay, because that's where we got cut off last time, was at our hero pose. So coming into as comfortable a cross-legged pose as possible. If it's not at all comfortable to sit cross-legged, that's fine. Bring your legs out straight. If you want, you can come and sit up on something. I'm giving myself a little bit of room. Having the hips higher up than the knees, in theory anyway. So if I cross one leg, I have my knee is up. If I cross it the other way, my knee comes down. So that's due to an asymmetrical tightness on one side. So let's come into the hips a little bit and then we'll come back down. So we're going to do our cat and cow because this is a bit of a pelvis tilt. So let's bring the hands in front of the knees if you've crossed your legs. If your legs are out straight, hands can come under the thighs. So we're going to exhale, round the spine back. Inhale, rounding forward, looking up. Exhale back. So the main point that I want you to notice is this pelvic tilt, and you don't have to go any further than back and forth. You don't even have to move your head. That's just if you want to. So this is our exhale cat, inhale cow. Excellent. All right. So from here, let's bring the feet out in front if they're not already. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So opening up the hips gives us a little bit more space in the knees. All right, so hands can come down towards the ankles, elbows towards the knees. And if you're up on something, just be aware of that. And we're leaning forward a little bit here. So we've opened up that pelvis, the hip joints, and so now we're folding forward a little bit here. If this is uncomfortable, come back up a little bit. The important thing in this or any yoga class is to find your edge of tension, your comfort level, moving into that space mindfully. All right, and then to come back up, we're going to inhale, and you can bring the hands down to the floor and walk back up. Let's bring the hands under the knees, bring the knees towards each other, and wrap the arms around the knees, drop the head, and rock side to side. Excellent. All right, so let's come down onto our back. And if you have a strap, this would be great. If you don't, you can do this. I'm going to show you something that I'm going to do. Didn't have a strap last time, so I couldn't do it. But it's specific to the strap. There's other things that we do and don't have a strap that you can do without a strap, but this one's a little bit specific to that. So let me just show you that. So I'm going to come sideways. Let's see. Enough room. Okay, awesome. Left foot's down on the floor and bring the right foot up into the strap. So what I'm doing here is we're not doing our legs going in all directions. What I'm doing is pushing, and this is probably the only time I would say grip onto the strap. We're going to be pushing the ball of the foot into the strap. And so I want you to notice where in the leg you're feeling that. So it's, for me, it's coming all the way down into this part of my shin. I can feel it in the calf muscle as well. But sometimes we want to strengthen the muscles on either side of a joint. And sometimes we want to lengthen those muscles if they're too tight. So we can't tell, obviously, on a video. And as always, if you are in acute pain, then you go see your doctor. All right, so we're going to release that foot down and let's switch feet. We'll bring that left foot up. Again, holding onto the strap and pushing in with the ball of the foot. And maybe you might notice this feels different on this side. That's entirely possible. Excellent. And then let's release that down. And since we're down here, let's do a couple of things that might be a little bit of a repeat, but they're always worth doing. So we'll start with our Apanasana. And since we are concentrating on the knees, let's use the hands on the thigh version. So we'll start with an exhale. Exhale, hands come up. Inhale, hands slide back down. So the next one that we're going to do, we're going to all meet together in this exhale. We're going to bring and I'm going to do cactus arms just because I have stuff in the way above me. But you are welcome to bring your arms all the way overhead to the floor above you. So we're going to inhale, arms come up, feet come up. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to knees. Inhale, arms up, feet up. Exhale back. So we've got this, as my yoga teacher likes to say, motion is the lotion. And I do realize that with knees, sometimes moving them too much ends you up with new knees. But sometimes if it's arthritis or stiffness that's causing knee pain, moving, getting that synovial fluid into all those little spots that it belongs. All right, so let's come back and we'll do a couple of Apanasanas. Beautiful. All right, let's bring the feet down to the mat. And we're going to extend the right leg all the way straight out. And then on the exhale, and just be gentle where you're grabbing onto that knee if there's tenderness. And we're going to exhale, bring that knee in. Inhale, release. You can go out as far as you like. So this would be a strengthening movement. Exhale, knee comes in. Inhale, out, trying to keep that shin sort of perpendicular or parallel to the floor. Excellent. And then let's bring that foot down to the mat. We'll bend the right knee, extend that left foot, and let's go to the other side. So again, gentle where you're grabbing that knee. Exhale, inhale, release that leg as far out as it wants to go. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, extend. So if anything that we're doing in this video does not feel good for your knee, because I obviously can't see what your knee looks like, then please, we'll find you a alternate or a prop to use. And then we'll bring that right knee down, right foot comes to the floor. We'll bend that left knee. And we're going to come into windshield wipers here. So your arms can come out to the side. And we're going to just walk the feet out just a little bit and going just as far as comfortable. Maybe you can go all the way to the floor, but that's not necessary. We just want to bring A little bit of movement. So the inhale, knees come to the center, exhale, both knees to the left. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. Excellent. And then being even on both sides. So let's take a moment here. And now we're going to come into our hero pose. So one of the things that you can do, because we are on the knees, is you can get a blanket. Let's see, this one, or underneath your knees. And this is where we ended last time. So we'll just come into that for a little bit. Now, if this is something that is super uncomfortable, you can stay seated in a comfortable seated position, or sitting up on a chair is fine too. So the three heights of our hero pose. So what we're doing with our hero pose, and I'm actually sitting in it, sort of one of the versions, is we are compressing these knees. So another thing you can do, and I've seen it, is you have a small rolled up towel inserted under here, so it gives you this space to open up that area. All right, so we'll start with a block, and I've got a blanket for the knees. We're just gonna sit on the block. So we're up off the heels. And for some people, that might be more of an issue to be seated on here. So we're sitting up, and we've got that nice tall spine. And let's just take a couple of breaths here. You are welcome to come out at any time that you get too uncomfortable. All right, so another level for our hero pose is, like I was doing a moment ago, is just sitting on the heels. So if you have tight feet, this might be even more uncomfortable. An option with that then is to have a rolled up blanket, and this might be too big, but you get the general idea. So then I've got compression in the knees and a little bit of space here. So depending on how that feels, and that was a little bit too much, but you get the idea. All right, so that's two options for hero pose. The next one is a little bit more advanced. And if you haven't done this before, just be gentle on yourself. So the knees come out wider, and you're sitting down in between the feet on the floor. So this is a little bit of a torque. So if you haven't done this before, might not be the thing to do if your knees are a little on the ouchy side. All right, so coming out of that, let's come back to a cross-legged pose, and let's come back to that cat and cow. So we want to find symmetrical again, and a little bit of movement in the pelvis, teasing into the knees again. All right, if your legs are crossed, hands under the knees. If this is too uncomfortable, hands under the thighs. So this, here, I'll just do it this way. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Excellent. All right. So we're going to, all right, since I'm on, do you want to do that now or do you want to do that later? We're going to do this one next. Okay. So we're going to come into, we'll do our lateral and we'll do a twist. So for our lateral, again, you can keep the legs out straight. or if you want to cross them again. And oftentimes I will use blocks. If you don't have any handy, you can use pillows or blankets or books would even work too. Remember those books? Okay. Left hand on the block or the floor. Inhale, bring this right arm up. Exhale back. Inhale, other side. Exhale back. Wonderful. And then we'll come back to center. And let's come into our twist. So we're going to do not this one. We're going to do a slightly different one. All right. So we're going to extend left leg out. And you've got a couple options with this right leg. Straight out in front of you. Crossing over. Those are your two basic. This left leg can stay where it is. Or, let's see, stuck on the rug. You can cross it underneath so that left foot is by that right hip. So whatever is the least uncomfortable or the most comfortable, however you want to get into this position. So those are your options. And then we're going to twist. So just for fun, let's twist both ways. So let's take this left arm, inhale, bring it up. On the exhale, bring it on the outside of that right knee. If that's too uncomfortable and crunched up, you can bring that in front of. Right hand comes behind the spine, pushing in, getting lift. Beautiful. Exhale, gaze goes around towards the right. So we're getting into this knee and this knee. And then let's unwind, uncross, and come all the way out. Awesome. All right, let's do the other side. So right leg is out in front. Left leg can be bent here. You can cross it over or add that right leg, right foot by that left hip. All right, sorry, this blanket's a little slippery. Let's inhale, bring that right arm up on the outside of that left knee or hug in front of that left knee. Left hand comes behind the back, lifting up out of the spine. Beautiful. And then on your exhale, turning and looking around towards that left shoulder. Beautiful. And then coming back to center. Unwind, uncross, bring it all the way out. And then let's go back and do a forward fold here. So we're going to bring this, bend that right knee, bring that right foot into that left leg. Inhale the arms up. On the exhale, hinge at the hip and forward fold. And cross the wrist over the shin or wherever they meet. Knee, thigh, whatever works for you tonight. Excellent. One more breath here. Inhale, extend the arms up. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, and release. Right leg out. Left foot comes into that right thigh. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hinge at the hip. Forward fold. You can cross the wrist over that right shin. And release down into that. Couple of breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready to come out, extend the arms out. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, and release. Excellent. All right, so we'll do that next. All right, so let's come up to a hands and knees. So yes, we're gonna do just a little bit on our hands and knees. Whenever you're in a regular yoga class and the teacher has you on your hands and knees, come onto a blanket. Give yourself a little padding. What I want to do on the hands and knees is a quad stretch. So sometimes if that quad is tight, it's going to be pulling and making that knee uncomfortable. So we're just going to do that one thing on our hands and knees here. So we're going to do what I like to call tiger tail. So we'll start by extending that right leg back, bend at the knee, bend at the ankle, and then we're going to extend that left arm forward, bring it all the way around, and if you can, grabbing that right foot or right ankle. So we're going to push that foot into the hand, and hopefully you can feel that in that quad muscles. There's 4. All right, take a breath or 2 here. And then release. Take a breath in the middle. And then go to the other side. Extend that left leg back. Left leg, bend at the knee, bend at the ankle. And then this right hand comes out and around, grabbing that left foot or the left ankle with that right hand, pushing the foot into the hand. Feel that top of the thigh muscle lengthening. Beautiful. One more breath. And then release. And then we'll come back to center. Coming up off the knees, let's come up to a forward fold. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. All right, so our forward fold tonight here. So I'm going to come to this chair because I want to show you what I am doing here with the knees. So when we're in our forward fold, and the tendency is to lock the knees back like that, which is hyperextending them. So when we are bending here, there's a softening, and then you can go towards straighter. So then that gives the hamstrings a nice stretch. So you can come to a chair, and if this is too low, the higher part of the chair, and then stretch the legs back. Excellent. All right, if that's not far enough, you can come down towards the floor. You can always bring your hands to the legs. Just don't push back. Again, hyperextending. I actually have a drawing for you. Let me show you. All right. Let's see, is it? Oh, the screen is kind of in the way of it. There we go. Okay. So I don't know if that's backwards or not for you. This is your femur. So up here, this bone, where it meets in here, tibia, the big bone coming down where your shin is, and then the fibula is the little side one that comes back here. This is your kneecap right in front. So when you are hyperextending, and I'll show you sideways here, when you go whoop, like that, what happens is these two are all that's touching for this. Oh, stop doing that. So this creates space in here, and it puts pressure up on here. So that is why we don't want to do that, because that can cause long-term damage. All right, what were we doing? Forward fold. Okay, so we're in our forward fold. Knees are bent, they're a little soft. And then if it feels okay, going towards straighter, but not all the way. Beautiful. And then arms come out to the side, you can bend the knees. Come all the way up, palms together, and start. All right, so I wanted to give you a couple of other balance poses that we didn't get to last time. And our first one is our tree pose. So if you have a chair and you want to use a chair, you're welcome to do that. You, of course, don't have to have one, but if it's something you would like, you're welcome to grab it. All right, so let's start with our tree pose. I'm going to start with my left foot down on the earth, and there's a couple of different options here with your tree pose. So this hip is nice and strong, the one that the leg is staying down. And the reason that we would do a tree pose for balance for knees is strengthening the muscles in that leg that's standing. We're opening the hip on the right side. You can start with that heel above the ankle. You can bring that foot up onto the calf, or you can bring that foot up above the knee, just not on the knee. I know I say it all the time in class, not on the knee. People still do it. When you look at how delicate your knee joint is, you think they stop, but they don't. That's right. Another day, another time. All right, so let's come into this tree pose. Tightening the muscles here and back here to stabilize that joint. You can bring your hands to the heart. They can stay in the chair. Foot can come up, come down. So many options with our tree. So branches come out, branches come up. And we've got to breathe. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, coming out nice and gracefully. All right, shake it out. And let's do the other side. So you can switch facing the other direction with your chair. I'm just going to leave it there. Not a lot of room for maneuvering. All right, so this hip, and that's exaggerating. So we want that nice and tight around that hip. Strong muscle here, back here. Engage that knee and bring that foot up higher, just not there on the knee. I know it's like a natural shelf. You want to do that, but I promise it's not a good idea. Hands can be at the heart. Grow our branches up, down, it rains, it snows. And we breathe. Beautiful. And coming out nice and gracefully. Shake it out. All right, the other balance pose that I wanted to do, and again, this is strengthening on the leg for the knee to protect it. So for our next one it's our eagle pose. See a little better? Okay. All right, so our eagle pose. So we're engaging these muscles and strengthening those to take that brunt off of the knees. All right, so we're going to start with the arms out, mostly out, and we're going to bend the knees. The right arm is going to come under the left. This is option 1. Option 2 is elephant. Option 3 is hugging the shoulders. So pick one of those, bend the knees. We're going to cross that right leg over the left, and you can put your foot on a block, put your foot on the floor, or wrap it all the way around. All right, I'm on a block tonight because it's handy. All right, let's take 3 breaths here. So we're going to inhale, lift the arms up, exhale down, inhale, and exhale. And one more, inhale, exhale down, release the arms, don't whack anything, uncross the legs. Nice. All right, let's come to the other side. So if you have a block, moving it to the outside of this right foot, arms come out to the side, bend the knees. Left arm comes under the right, or elephant trunk, or hug the shoulders. And then we're going to cross that left leg over the right. So the big active muscle in this is the right thigh. 3 breaths. Inhale, up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Open, release, uncross. Excellent. All right. So from here, let's see, we've got just a couple more, and then we will come down to our resting pose. And we'll do some hints about sleeping maybe with knee issues. So let's start, we're gonna come down into our squat. So this, again, depending on what your issue with your knee is, knees, this may not be your thing. If it's not, don't worry, just come and sit down on the floor. If you'd like to do a squat, we're gonna bring feet out wide. The other thing, if in your squat you come down and your heels come up, you can come down and bring your heels onto a blanket. All right, so feet are kind of pointed out to the side, coming down, and so my feet are in too close together for what I usually do. So bring them out a little further, and then my heels come down. So the other thing I want to do is I'm kind of hunched over here. Lift up out of the spine, elbows push the knees apart, hands in front of the heart. Nice. And we breathe. And stay here just as long as you like whenever you're ready to come out. Coming out nice and gracefully, falling flat on the floor, not on anything that's behind you. All right. So one of the things that, or what we're going to do next, is crossing the legs at the wall, which maybe I'm not doing that on this wall. Yeah, I think I will. All right, we're going to give it a shot. Move these out of the way. All right, so we're going to come so that we're going to try and get the hips up close towards the wall. They don't have to be all the way there. And then we're going to cross over shoestring legs, and we do that with cow face. So if you can get closer than this, that's great. If not, that's fine. If you don't have an empty wall handy, you can put your legs up on the couch maybe and cross the knees that way. So let's just take a breath or two here. Whatever position you are in is fine. One more breath. And then let's switch the legs. So if you have one cross over the other, then switch which one you've got on top. And one more breath. Beautiful. And then we're going to slowly uncross. And let's do a couple of apanasanas away from the wall. So you maybe turn sideways, or if you're at the couch, turn sideways. I'm just going to scooch up and scoot back a little bit. All right. So a couple of apanasanas here. Exhale, knees come up. Inhale, down. Exhale, hands slide up. Inhale, hands slide down. One more. Exhale and inhale. Beautiful. All right, let's see. Legs come all the way out. Actually, let me just go this way a little bit. And we're going to do our banana asana, which is the goofiest name for a yoga pose, but from above, maybe you look like a banana. I like crescent better, but that's just me. All right, let's inhale, bring the arms up overhead. And you know what? Let's do a good morning stretch before we do anything else. Just extend the fingers and the toes away from each other. Softening the knees so you're not hyperextending. And then we're going to do this crescent banana shape. So we're going to start by walking the feet over towards the right side, just going as far as is comfortable. You might start to feel that in that left hip. And then we're going to walk the hands over towards the right. So we're kind of coming into maybe a little crescent, or maybe it looks like a banana. All right. So this is our pose. We're going to breathe here. If you want to, if you're not feeling enough of a stretch, you can add on. If it's too much, walk it back a little bit. So we'll take this right hand and grab that left wrist. So if that's too much in the shoulder, release. And then if you'd like, you can take this left ankle and cross it over that right ankle. If it's too much in the knee or the hip, uncross, walk it back. And let's take a couple of breaths here. Very nice. And let's uncross, release, and walk back to center. And another good morning stretch. Fingers away from the toes. Excellent. And then we're going to the other side. So we'll walk the feet over towards the left, just as far as comfortable, or till you run out of space. And then we'll walk the arms over towards the left. Very nice. Again, if you went too far, walk it back. If it's not far enough, you can grab that right wrist with the left hand and cross that right ankle over the left ankle. If it's too much on the knee or hip, uncross, walk it back. And let's take a couple of breaths here. Beautiful. Release, uncross, walk it back to center. And one more good morning stretch, even though in live time it's evening. That's okay. Maybe you watch this in the morning. That's fine. Excellent. And release that. Bring the arms back down by your sides. And let's come into a twist. So if you have anything in the way, move it out of the way. We're going to bring the arms out to the sides. Bend the knees. Feet come into the floor. From here, a couple of options. If you want to, you can just bring both knees over to one side and then to the other side. If you want to, you can cross that right leg over the left and do the twist this way. All right, so we're going to go both sides with this. So inhale here. Exhale, both knees come over towards the left. Just as far as is comfortable. Inhale, both knees come back up. And then on the exhale, both knees go over towards the right side. Inhale, bringing both knees back up. We're going to uncross and then recross the opposite. So left leg's going to come over the right. We'll inhale here. On the exhale, both knees go over towards the left again. Inhale, bring them both back up. On the exhale, both knees go over towards the right. Beautiful. Inhale, bring them both all the way back up. Uncross. And if you want, go side to side first. And then let's come back to symmetrical. So we'll bring the arms in, and our symmetrical is back to Apanasana. Instead of grabbing onto the knees here, let's keep going with the hands up and down the front of the thighs. Inhale, hands slide down. Exhale, hands slide up. Beautiful. And then let's bring feet down to the mat. And then extend the legs all the way straight out. Before we come into our relaxation pose, I just want to mention the option of bringing something under the knees. So I would suggest this for something if it's an issue sleeping and your knees hurt. Getting an extra pillow on your knees while you sleep, or if you sleep on your side, a pillow in between your knees. So that can affect your hips, which affects your knees. So if you're still on your back, stay there. We're going to come into our relaxation pose. I'm going to sit up and do a, see if I can. There we go. Awesome. All right. So let's come into our relaxation pose. If you have something to bring under your knees, go ahead and do that. Give them a little bit of rest for tonight. And let's do a full body relaxation, walking down the body, relaxing each part as we go. Starting with the feet. Relax the toes. Relax the sole of the feet, the top of the feet, and the heels. Release the ankles. Relax the calves and shins. Release the knee and the space behind the knees. Relax the top of the thighs, the back of the thighs. Let the pelvis be heavy and sink in. Let the shoulders be heavy and sink into the earth. Relax the upper arms, elbows, and lower arms. Release the wrists. Relax the hands, fingers, and palms. Relax the throat and the back of the neck. Release the jaw. Let the tongue be heavy and fall away from the roof of the mouth. Let the eyes be heavy and fall to the back of the head. Smooth the forehead and face. Let any last thought seep out the top of the crown of the head. Let the earth's gravity hold you. Let the air around you breathe you. Take the next few moments and just be. Gently coming back into awareness. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. Roll your head side to side. When you're ready. And with an inhale, rolling over onto your right or left side. When you're ready. And again with an inhale, using your upper arm to push up to a comfortable seated position. So tonight, I'm going to give you another mudra, and this one helps promote a healthy nervous system. So when we get into that fight or flight, we need to calm ourselves back down. So this, the little saying here is nourishing all my energetic pathways supports my nervous system in functioning optimally. All right, so you take the right hand, a little closer. So the right hand, ring finger, and then the other fingers are extended. Left hand, it's the middle finger, and all the other fingers extended away. So you can rest that on your lap and take a couple breaths here. And one more breath. Bringing the hands together back to the heart as we go forth out into this beautiful evening. Go forth with kindness, compassion, and gratitude, not just for others, but especially for yourselves. Namaste, my friends. Have a good night.